My girlfriend screamed, "Get out. I can't believe you bring up marriage after 5 years." I said, "Understood." Then I moved out while she was at yoga and left the ring box empty with a note saying where the $15,000 diamond went. Her panic call started when original post. I'm a 31 male and I was with my girlfriend for 5 years and 2 months. We lived together for 3 of those years. I paid 70% of the rent because I made more money. I thought we were building something. Apparently, I was building it alone. 2 months ago, I decided it was time. 5 years felt right. We talked about the future in vague terms. Kids someday, maybe a house, that kind of thing. She never seemed to push, just non-committal. I figured she was waiting for me to make it official. So I bought a ring. 1.88 carat oval diamond platinum band, $15,200 after tax. I've been saving for over a year in a separate account she didn't know about. Picked it out myself after months of research. I was proud of that ring. I planned to propose on our anniversary, which was 3 weeks away, but I wanted to have a conversation first. Make sure we were on the same page about timelines, expectations, all that adult stuff. I didn't want to blindside her with a proposal. If she had concerns, we should address them first. Big mistake. Huge. We were making dinner together on a Sunday night. She was chopping vegetables. I was handling the pasta. Casual, comfortable. I thought it was the perfect moment to bring it up gently. "Hey, I've been thinking about us lately, about our future. I wanted to talk about where you see things going, like marriage eventually." She put down the knife slowly. The look on her face was like I'd just suggested we adopt a mountain lion. "Marriage? Yeah, we've been together 5 years. I love you. I figure we should talk about." "Are you serious right now?" I was confused. Yes. I thought it would be good to discuss. "Get out." I literally took a step back. "What?" "I can't believe you bring up marriage after 5 years like this is some kind of deadline, like I owe you something. This is exactly the kind of pressure I've been dreading. You're trying to trap me." "Trap you? I just wanted to have a conversation." "Ow, I need space. I can't even look at you right now." She was shaking, actually shaking, like I'd threatened her instead of trying to talk about her future. I tried to calm her down, asked what I'd done wrong. She just kept saying she needed space, that I was suffocating her, that she couldn't believe I would spring this on her after everything. After everything. After 5 years of me paying most of the bills, planning our vacations, cooking most of the meals, being her +1 to every family event while she wasn't ready to meet my parents. I slept on the couch that night. She didn't come out of the bedroom until noon the next day. When she did, she acted like nothing had happened. Made herself coffee, scrolled her phone, didn't acknowledge me at all. I asked if we could talk about what happened. "There's nothing to talk about. I overreacted a little, but you need to understand that marriage isn't something I'm ready to discuss. When I'm ready, I'll let you know. Until then, drop it." Drop it? 5 years and I was supposed to just drop it. Wait indefinitely for her to decide if I was worthy of a real commitment. Something clicked in my head, or maybe it broke, hard to tell. "Okay," I said, "understood." Natalie looked satisfied, went back to her phone. I went to work, but I started planning. See, here's what I realized in that moment. She wasn't scared of commitment. She was scared of committing to me. There's a difference. She wanted all the benefits of our relationship, the financial support, the stability, the companionship, without ever having to make it official. I was a placeholder, good enough to live with, not good enough to marry. I spent the next week acting normal, going to work, coming home, making dinner together. Natalie was cheerful now that I'd dropped it, even affectionate, like rewarding a dog for finally learning a command. Meanwhile, I was quietly getting my affairs in order. I found an apartment, month-to-month lease, available immediately. I signed the paperwork Tuesday. I rented a small storage unit and started moving things out gradually. A box here, a box there. She never noticed. She barely noticed anything I did unless it directly benefited her. Thursday, I took the ring back to the jeweler. They had a 30-day return policy, and I was at day 22. Full refund. $15,200 back in my account. Saturday morning, Natalie left for her usual yoga class, 90-minute hot yoga. She'd done it every Saturday for 3 years. I had a consistent window. The moment her car pulled away, I moved fast. I'd already packed most of my essentials over the week: books, clothes, electronics, important documents. The big furniture was hers anyway. She'd insisted on buying everything herself when we moved in because she had specific taste. Fine by me now. Took me 45 minutes to clear out everything that was mine. The apartment looked almost the same. She probably wouldn't even notice for hours. But I left something behind. On the kitchen counter, I placed the ring box, the empty ring box. Inside, I put a note. You asked me to drop it, so I did. The ring I was going to propose with has been returned. $15,200. It's going toward my new apartment deposit and first month's rent. Thank you for making it clear where I stood after 5 years. I won't contact you again. Please don't contact me. We're done. Marcus. I took one last look around, left my key on the counter next to the box, and walked out. Turned my phone off for 3 hours. When I turned it back on, I had 23 missed calls and 41 text messages. If this hit different, follow, because I post stories about people who finally chose themselves. You probably needed to see this today for a reason. The first few texts were confused. Where are you? Why is your stuff gone? What is this box? Then Natalie found the note. Call me right now. You're joking, right? This is some kind of sick joke. You can't just leave. We need to talk about this like adults. I can't believe you would do this to me after everything I've done for you. The voicemails were worse. Crying, screaming, demanding I come back immediately, calling me a coward, then switching to begging me to just talk to her. I didn't respond to any of it. Her mom, Linda, started texting me around 6:00 p.m. Apparently Natalie had called her in hysterics. Linda quote-s texts were interesting. You need to call her right now. She's devastated. I don't know what happened between you two, but abandoning her is not the answer. She told me you were going to propose. She was excited. I don't understand why you'd leave like this. Wait. She told her mom I was going to propose and that she was excited. So when I brought it up, she screamed at me to get out, but she was telling her family she was excited about a proposal. I texted Linda back one sentence. Did she tell you what she said when I tried to talk about marriage? Ask her. Then decide who abandoned who. Never got a response. That night I sat in my new apartment eating pizza straight from the box, listening to the sound of nothing. No walking on eggshells. No waiting to see which version of Natalie would walk through the door. Just quiet. And the weight off my shoulders was something I hadn't felt in years, maybe ever. Things got messy, a shocker, I know. A lot of people asked why I didn't just break up with her normally, face to face. Fair question. Honestly, I knew if I tried to do it that way, she'd manipulate me into staying. She'd cry, apologize, promise things would change. I'd fallen for it before. The only way I could actually leave was to just leave. Now onto the chaos. Natalie showed up at my workplace. Just walked into the lobby and told the receptionist she needed to see me urgently. Family emergency, she said. My receptionist, Sandra, buzzed me with concern in her voice. I went downstairs, and there she was, looking rough, puffy eyes, messy hair, wearing the same yoga pants from Saturday, standing in the middle of the lobby like she had every right to be there. We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. You can't just decide that. I have a say in this too. You had 5 years to say it. I'm done. She started crying right there in the lobby. My colleague Tom walked by and stopped mid-stride, eyes wide, clearly unsure whether to intervene or flee. He fled. Smart man. Natalie grabbed my arm. Please, I made a mistake. I was scared. I didn't mean what I said. I love you. I want to marry you. You literally screamed at me to get out when I mentioned marriage, called me suffocating, said I was trying to trap you. I was having a bad day. You caught me off guard. That's not how I really feel. That's exactly how you really feel. You just didn't expect consequences. She shifted tactics fast. Fine, fine. You want to know the truth? I was planning to propose to you on our anniversary. I had it all planned. You ruined it by bringing it up early. I stared at her. You were going to propose to me? Yes. With what ring? Silence. You don't have a ring. I was going to buy one. With what money? I've seen your savings account. You spent $400 on a jacket last month. She didn't have an answer for that. Security came over, a soft-spoken man named Gerald who I'd chatted with every morning for 2 years, and politely asked her to leave. Natalie called me a few names on her way out. Gerald gave me a look that said he'd seen worse. He hadn't. My boss Richard pulled me aside afterward. He was sympathetic but suggested I keep personal drama out of the office. Fair enough. He also told me, off the record, that Sandra had offered to call the police when Natalie first walked in. I told him that wouldn't be necessary. At least, not yet. The mutual friend offensive began. I got texts from 3 different people, all with the same general energy. I heard what happened. Don't you think you're being a little harsh? She really loves you. Maybe you guys just need couples counseling. My friend Devin, a guy I'd known since college, texted me to say Natalie had told him I'd been emotionally withholding for the last year and that she'd been trying to fix things for months. Devin is a good guy, but he tends to believe whoever cried to him most recently. My friend Priya was more measured. She told me she'd gotten 2 different versions of events from Natalie over the past few days and wanted to hear mine. I told her everything, including the part where Natalie told her family she was excited for a proposal while calling me suffocating in the kitchen. Priya went very quiet. Then she said, "That's not okay, Marcus." And I appreciated that more than she knows. The third mutual friend said she didn't want to take sides, that there are 2 sides to every story. Sure, one less person at my hypothetical wedding. I set the record straight with each of them. How Natalie had screamed at me, how she'd been performing one version for her family and another for me, how I'd paid 70% of the bills while she bought designer clothes and called herself broke. 2 of them went quiet. One changed their tune completely. Natalie texted me demanding her stuff. I hadn't taken any of her stuff, literally just my belongings. But apparently some things I thought were mine were suddenly ours in her mind. My PlayStation, my stand mixer, the coffee maker I bought before we even moved in together. I texted back, "Everything I took was mine. If you think I have something that's yours, be specific." She listed the PlayStation. I sent her the receipt, my name, 2 years ago. She listed the KitchenAid mixer. Gift from my mother, I've had it since 2019. She listed a blanket I'd had since college, a cast iron skillet I'd bought at a vintage market 3 years before we met. And this is the one that almost made me laugh, a small, succulent plant I'd been keeping alive on the windowsill since 2020. The succulent. She wanted the succulent. I told her I'd leave the plant in a bag outside my building if she really needed it that badly. She didn't respond. I assume she came and took it because it disappeared from my windowsill 2 days later. She had a spare key cut at some point. I didn't know that until I checked the lockbox. I had the locks changed that afternoon. I'd met Frank exactly twice in 5 years. Big man, former military. Never seemed to like me much, but I'd chalked it up to the classic protective father thing. Now, suddenly, he wanted to have a man-to-man conversation. "Listen, son, I know my daughter can be difficult, but you made a commitment when you moved in with her. You don't just walk out on that." With all due respect, sir, I tried to make a bigger commitment. She screamed at me and told me to get out, so I got out permanently. She didn't mean it like that. She's got anxiety, you know how she is. I didn't know how she is. That's why I left. Silence. Then, she really thought you were going to propose. She'd been telling everyone. Then why did she react the way she did when I brought it up? I don't know, son. That's between you two. There's no us two anymore. Please don't call me again. I hung up. He didn't call back. Here's the thing that's been eating at me, though. She'd been telling everyone, her mom, her friends, apparently her entire extended family. She was expecting a ring. But when I tried to have an honest conversation about marriage, not even the proposal, just a conversation, she exploded. Called me suffocating. Told me I was trying to trap her. Every week I find the story the internet is talking about before it goes viral. Subscribe and you'll always be ahead of it. The only explanation that makes sense. She wanted the proposal, the ring, the wedding, all of it. But she wanted it on her terms, when she decided. The fact that I initiated the conversation meant I wasn't following her script, and that was unacceptable. Some people don't want a partner. They want an audience member for the show they're directing. I'm done being in her show. Final update. Because I'm genuinely done with this situation and need to close this chapter. Week 2 started with Natalie trying a new approach. She sent me a long email, long detailing everything she was sorry for, the screaming, the overreaction, the so-called miscommunication. She acknowledged that she'd been scared of her own feelings and that her fear of commitment stemmed from childhood trauma she'd never processed. She said she was ready to go to therapy, ready to meet my parents, ready to do whatever it takes. She ended it with, I know I don't deserve another chance, but I'm asking for one anyway. I was ready to spend my life with you. I just didn't know how to say it. For about 30 seconds, I almost believed her. Then I remembered she'd had 5 years to say it, 5 years to show it. Instead, she screamed at me in the kitchen. I didn't respond to the email. She showed up at my apartment building. I still don't know how she found my address. Maybe she followed me. Maybe she asked around. Either way, she buzzed my unit at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. Please, just 5 minutes. I need to see you. I almost didn't answer, but I figured if I didn't, she'd just keep showing up. So I went down to the lobby, didn't let her upstairs. She looked different from the last time. More put together, full makeup, a nice blouse like she'd dressed for a date. It struck me as calculated, which it was. Can we please just talk in person like adults? You have 5 minutes. She took a breath. I know I messed up. I know what I said was horrible, but you have to understand where I was coming from. I felt ambushed. I wasn't ready for that conversation. You'd been telling your family I was going to propose. You were expecting it. She blinked. That's different. I was expecting a proposal, not a conversation about marriage. You took all the romance out of it. You made it feel like a business negotiation. I let that sink in. So let me get this straight. If I had just proposed without discussing it first, you would have said yes. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. But when I tried to have a conversation about it, to make sure we were on the same page before I committed $15,000 and a lifetime to you, that was suffocating. She opened her mouth, closed it. You didn't want a partner. You wanted a performance. You wanted me to read your mind, follow your script, and never deviate from whatever fantasy version of this you had planned in your head. That's not fair. You screamed at me to get out for trying to communicate like an adult, and now you're telling me you would have said yes to a proposal. Do you hear yourself? She started crying, the real kind, not the manipulative kind. I could tell the difference by now. I don't know what's wrong with me, she said quietly. I don't know why I'm like this. I love you. I've always loved you. I just couldn't say it right. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Then she said, so can we just start over? Forget all of this happened. I'll even let you propose again. The right way this time. She'll let me propose again. We're done, Natalie. Please don't come here again. I walked back inside. The security camera confirmed she stood in the lobby for another 11 minutes before leaving. 3 days after the lobby confrontation, something happened I didn't expect. I was at the coffee shop near my office, the one I'd started going to just to have somewhere to sit that wasn't the apartment. I was reading, minding my own business, when a woman sat down across from me at the communal table and asked if the chair next to mine was taken. It wasn't. Her name was Claire. She was reading the same book I was, which I will not name because I'd like to retain some dignity, but it rhymes with Atomic Habits. We laughed about it. We talked for about an hour. She asked what I did. I asked what she did. She was an architect. I told her I was a software engineer. She said that explained the posture. I said that explained the confident opinions about floor plans. She asked if I came here often. I said I just started. She said she came every Thursday morning. I didn't ask for her number. She didn't offer it. We just said it was nice to meet each other, and I went back to work. But I thought about it the whole rest of the day. Not obsessively, not in a searching way, just quietly, like remembering that the world is still large, that there are people out there who ask questions and listen to the answers, that conversation isn't supposed to feel like walking through a minefield. I went back the following Thursday. Claire was there. We talked again, this time for 2 hours. She asked what had brought me to this particular coffee shop, and I gave her the short version: ended a long relationship, new apartment, trying to build a new routine. She said, "How long were you together?" 5 years. She winced sympathetically. That's a long time. Yeah, I said it was. And then she said something I've been thinking about ever since. The hardest part about leaving something long isn't the leaving. It's accepting that the time wasn't wasted just because the outcome wasn't what you hoped. I didn't have a response for that. I just nodded. I don't know what Claire is or will be. It's too soon. I'm not ready. But I know that 1 hour of conversation with her was easier and more honest than most of the conversations I had with Natalie in 5 years. And that tells me something. Remember how Natalie had been telling everyone about the proposal? Turns out she hadn't just told family and friends. She told her coworkers, her boss, her entire extended family. She had basically planned a whole announcement for when it happened. When it became clear I wasn't coming back, she had to explain to all these people why the proposal never happened and why her boyfriend of 5 years had suddenly moved out. From what I heard through the grapevine, thank you, mutual acquaintances with loose lips, her story evolved several times. Version 1, I had commitment issues and panicked. Version 2, I was seeing someone else. I wasn't. Version 3, I was emotionally abusive and she'd finally escaped. Really wasn't. The problem with lying to that many people is that the stories don't stay consistent. Different people heard different versions. Eventually, someone compared notes. Her cousin Zoe reached out to me on social media. We'd met once at a holiday party, had a perfectly normal conversation about bad airport experiences, and that was the extent of it. Zoe wanted to know what really happened because she was getting 3 different stories from family members, and none of them matched. I told her the truth, simply and clearly, no editorializing. Her reaction, "Yeah, that sounds more like her, I'm sorry." Then she told me something I hadn't known. I wasn't the first person Natalie had done this to. Her college boyfriend, a guy named Patrick, had ended things abruptly after 2 years together. The family story was that Patrick had issues with intimacy and couldn't handle a real relationship. For years, that was the accepted narrative. Now Zoe wasn't so sure. She said, "I think she does this. I think she sets up a version of events where she's always the one things happen to, never the one who causes them. And everyone just believes her because she's convincing." I asked Zoe if she'd ever said any of this to Natalie. Zoe was quiet for a moment. Then, once, a few years ago, we didn't talk for almost a year after that. I told Zoe I appreciated her reaching out. She said she hoped I was okay. I told her I was getting there. And I meant it. I'm 2 months into my new apartment now. Still month to month because I'm not sure where I want to be long term. I changed my phone number, blocked Natalie on everything. The mutual friends who took her side quietly unfollowed me. The ones who didn't, Priya, a few others checked in on me every week or so. Devin came around eventually. He apologized for assuming things without asking. I told him not to worry about it. That's who Devin is. He always comes back around. Work is good. Richard gave me a project I'd been waiting on for months. I took it as a sign that the office drama hadn't affected how he saw my work. I'd be lying if I said I don't think about Natalie. 5 years is a long time. There were good moments, a lot of them actually. I'm not rewriting history to make it easier to walk away. She was funny. She was creative. There were whole weekends where everything felt right. But the good moments don't cancel out the fundamental incompatibility that revealed itself in that kitchen. She didn't want a conversation. She didn't want a partner who communicated. She wanted a prop in her personal narrative, someone who would perform on cue and never ask questions. I'm not that guy. I never was. I just didn't realize it until she forced the issue. Last week I got a text from an unknown number, obviously her, using someone else's phone. "You'll regret this. You'll realize what you lost, and when you come crawling back, I won't be there." I didn't respond, but I did smile a little. Because here's the thing, I already know what I lost. 5 years with someone who couldn't say "I love you" without conditions. Someone who wanted the wedding but not the marriage. Someone who exploded when I tried to communicate and then blamed me for not reading her mind. I lost a fantasy. The reality was never what I thought it was. The $15,200 went to my deposit, first month's rent, and some furniture. I have a decent setup now. A couch I picked out alone. A coffee table I assembled at midnight with the wrong-sized Allen key and a lot of patience. Bookshelves. A proper bed frame for the first time in my adult life. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. The ring box I left behind on the counter, apparently Natalie kept it. Her cousin mentioned it. She still has it on her dresser. I don't know why. Maybe as a reminder of what she lost. Maybe she's still hoping I'll fill it someday. I won't. Some doors once closed stay closed. And every Thursday morning, I go to a coffee shop near my office and read for a while. Sometimes I see Claire. Sometimes I don't. But I always leave feeling like myself, which is more than I can say for most mornings in the last 2 years of that relationship. Take care of yourselves. And if someone ever screams at you for trying to communicate, believe them. That's who they are. Drop an emoji in the comments and subscribe if you've ever stayed too long somewhere you were comfortable but not valued. Follow, you're going to want to be here for the next on